Bom dia. That is good day in my native tongue. And we are going to unwrinkle the body, in particular the lumbar, by loosening up the hamstrings. If you have access to a foam roller, about this width, the width of your hand, maybe even a little bit wider, go ahead and grab that, because that's going to be the main tool we will use. But I will encourage you to join in any case and loosen up the hamstrings in the way that you already know. And that way, when you come upon a foam roller, you know what to do and the benefit that it brings. And no better way to come upon exactly the benefit of doing whatever it is that you're going to do is to notice how the body feels before and after. So I'm going to encourage you to, you notice I have here 2 blankets. You may or may not need those blankets. The way to know is if you can sit in Dandasana and have the sacrum, the top of the sacrum, the top of the triangle, tilting in slightly so that you can maintain that curvature of your spine. And then here, just notice the contact of the legs, the backs of the legs with the earth. Notice the freedom you sense here through the spine. Just observe where you are. And again, if you need a bit of height in order to honor this shape, this L shape, then give yourself the height by all means. We're just tuning into the body, noticing how we feel in this shape, how much freedom is there or lack of. And then with the tools that we will use, see if we can gain some freedom in a short, brief period of time. So let's go ahead and get the foam roller if that's what if you happen to have one. Otherwise, take Supta Padangusthasana or any kind of asana practice or any yoga posture that's going to help you release the hamstring. So here with the foam roller, you're going to place it just under the hamstring, the higher part, closer, more attached to the glutes. And then bring the body up, bend the opposite leg, and begin to roll. Notice that I'm not going very far towards the knee. I'm just staying right in that area where the glute and those 3 muscles to the back of the thigh attach. Okay, and I'm just rolling a little bit there. I'll notice some places are tighter than others. I'm also turning my toes out, turning my toes in, so that I can work more from the inside of the hamstring if my toes are turning in, from the outside of the hamstring. If I want to experience a little bit more intensity in terms of opening the pelvic region, which is always going to automatically release the lumbar. If you want to release the lumbar, if there's tightness in the low back, you want to create more space throughout the base of the pelvic floor. So one way to do that is take that opposite leg and bring it out in an L shape. So I have my knee on my left leg, on that same lane as my left hip, and I'm encouraging, without forcing, of course, that area is tender. I'm encouraging that hip to drop down. I have my foot in that L shape. I don't know if you can see that, but it's a 90-degree angle. And then from there, I'm just, again, rolling the upper part of the hamstring, those attachments, as I move my body with the roller. And again, when you catch those areas where it's a little bit tighter, spend more time there with your breath. You may turn outward a little bit. And you're staying with your breath and moving in this way. There's no specific amount of time. There's just, as long as you are experiencing some significant sensation, you have the luxury of investing in yourself a little bit longer, and you keep going. But just for the sake of just demonstrating the practice to you and showing you that just a few minutes can make a difference, we're going to go ahead and, if you have that leg out to the side, bring that leg back in as we first started, and then come and sit back in Dandasana just to see if you can sense a difference between the two sides here. So I'm walking back. By the way, this is such a good exercise to connect to the base of your body, just walking back and forth. So if you're feeling ungrounded, you can play with this. And notice that I'm holding my cheeks so that the sits bones can really connect. But now let's just come back to center for a moment and notice if indeed that right, the back of the right leg, those three hamstring muscles, those three muscles, you know, as the hamstrings are in closer contact with the ground. And if so, notice the impact that that has on the lumbar. Does that feel a little bit freer there? You may take a few times to really tune into the body, to notice, to experience those subtleties. But it's always a great opportunity in the practice to notice the effects of what you just did. So now we'll go with the other side. So here again, bring the roller, and you can come into a seated position. I have a little bit less room here on this side to send the roller out, but I will do my best in this beautiful cozy space. It's helpful to bring your practice to an environment that reminds us that nature's not linear, right? So we have to kind of modify a little bit on either side. And so here the work begins, right? And you notice, for me, this side is tighter. And so I just give it a little bit more attention, but perhaps spending a little bit more time. The suggestion is always that the side that is in greater need of whatever it is that you're doing comes first. Yeah, because we tend to give more attention to what comes first. So in this case for me, I would have done the left leg first. And then, like we did on the other side, you can bring those blankets if you have, just for padding. In my case, I could benefit from it. Bring that leg out to the side so that it's in a 90-degree angle here. And then continue. So the pelvic floor, make that as even on both sides of the sits bones as you can with this asymmetrical shape. Just rolling, allowing this right hip to descend if it's the right leg that's out to the side. And then the left toes of the extended leg, you can turn them out. Notice that you're going to grab other muscles there. Perhaps your outer glutes here get involved as well. Turn it in, maybe. The inner groins begin to participate. Just breathing and allowing that the wrinkled up body begin to iron out. And if you have the luxury to be out in nature as I do, to just allow yourselves to receive the space through sound. There's just a little bit of raindrops coming on my end. And if you're in a more artificial environment, that you can just consider how you can infuse a little more nature into perhaps today, but if not today, very soon. Or just imagine in this moment the space that nature provides, the sounds of nature. And just notice the physiological effect that that has on you. So just imagine it alone. All right, and then go ahead and bring that leg in, get off the roller, come back into Dandasana. Again, moving the flesh out of the way so that you can experience this shape, having given it a little bit of love. And hopefully you do feel more connected to the ground, freer in your hamstrings. And then that freedom translates into a less tight, less bound lumbar. And so from that, observe how even your psyche has perhaps transformed a little. In any case, obrigada. Thank you for sharing this time with me. Cristiane here to those of us who are new to one another. Namaste. Have a beautiful day.